around the 15th day in which they had arrived to the winter or into winter camps. It is arrived, but it's just a neuter and personal circumstance. Here it makes most sense to translate as they arrived. The beginning of a sudden tumult, that's genitive, or a sudden uprising, and of a rebellion arose. And who was it led by? It was led by Ambiorix and Catavolcus, who, although toward the borders of their kingdom, they had been present to Cata and to Sabinus, so they kind of presented themselves to them, and they seemed to be loyal, and they even had carried grain into the winter camps. By the messages of this guy, Traverius, incited or urged on, they stirred up their own people, and suddenly, with the woodcutters having been oppressed, so they attacked the woodcutters of this legion. With a great band toward the camps, they came to attack. So this is an accusative supine to express purpose. When swiftly our men took up arms and ascended the rampart, and from one part, with the Spanish cavalry having been sent forth, the equestrians, or the cavalry, in the battle were superior, so they won, and that should be a single underline. With the matter having been despaired or having been given up, the enemy, their own men, from the battle led back, so they retreated. Then, according to their custom, they shouted that someone from our men should go forth for speaking. They shouted that they have something to say, that they themselves have something to say, which which they wish to speak concerning the common matter, by which things they hope to be able to diminish the controversies, or the controversies. So Gaius, our Paneus, is sent to them for the sake of speaking, a Roman horseman and a familiar, like a close friend of Quintus Titurius, and our family friend, and Quintus Junius from Hispania, a certain man who already before, by the sending of Caesar to Ambiorix, had been accustomed to go back and forth, amongst whom Ambiorix in this way spoke. And now we get a bunch of accusative infinitives. Himself, on behalf of the good deeds of Caesar toward him, very much to him, as like very much to Caesar, he confessed to owe, because by the work of him, as in by the work of Caesar, from taxes or tributes, he had been freed, which taxes to the Aeduacti, their neighbors, or his own neighbors, he had been accustomed to pay, because to them both his son and the son of his brother by Caesar had been sent back. So another reason why he's indebted to Caesar is because these guys were hostages, his own son, and because of Caesar defeating the Aeduacti, they were sent back to them, whom the Aeduacti, in the number of hostages amongst themselves in servitude and in chains, had held. Or which ones sent? So which ones sent? Because they were sent, and they were probably required as hostages, and they were sent to and the Aeduacti had them. Neither it which had happened concerning the fight or the attack of the camp. So neither that thing which happened concerning the attack of the camp, either by a trial or a judgment or by his own will, had been done, but maybe like a brackets instead, by the compelling of the state, his authority to be of such a kind that no less does he have of authority, no less does the multitude have of authority or of justice towards him than he himself and to the multitude. So the multitude, like the citizens, have as much authority over him as he has over them. So he had to obey them, but he actually didn't want to attack. To the state, furthermore, this reason to have been the cause of war. So this thing to have been the cause of war. So he's saying here was why I had to attack, because he had not been able to resist to the sudden conspiracy of the Gauls. So he was unable to. Once the tide started rolling, he was unable to resist it. Okay, so here's what he says. He says, let's see, himself to be able to prove easily from his own lowliness, because he would not be so inexperienced of things, like inexperienced in matters, that by his own troops he would trust to be able to conquer the Roman people. So he's saying, I know you guys are much stronger than me. I would never have hoped to be able to defeat you anyway. But there to be a common plan to Gaul, or of Gaul, for attacking all winter camps, or for all winter camps to be attacked of Caesar, so all the winter camps of Caesar to be attacked, this to be the spoken day. So this is the day that they declared they would attack all of the winter camps of Caesar, lest in any way a legion to another legion would be able to provide help. Not easy for Gauls to negate or to deny Gauls. So it is not easy for Gauls to be able to deny Gauls. So he's saying if all of Gauls rising up, I couldn't really deny them, even though I actually really like Caesar. Especially when concerning recovering liberty, the common liberty, there seems to have been a plan begun. So the plan seems to be concerning the recovering of common liberty. Then it's very difficult to deny and say, okay, I'm not going to cooperate with you guys. Since to whom, on behalf of piety, he had satisfied, so he satisfied the other Gauls. Now he says himself to have a justification of duty on behalf of the kindnesses of Caesar, to warn and to beseech Titurius on behalf of hospitality and the relationship of friendship, that he consider or consult the safety of he think for the safety of himself and of the soldiers. He also said this: a great band of Germans having been hired to have crossed the Rhine, and to be in 2 days to be present here, or to this place. Or actually, no, not to this place, but this band, that refers back to this, to be present in 2 days. Of them to be the plan, or of theirs to be the plan, whether they wish before the neighbors may sense them to have been let out from the winter camps, or the soldiers to have been let out from the winter camps, or either to Cicero or to Labienus to go, or to lead forth, of which one is about 50 miles away, another a little bit farther from them is. And he also said himself to promise this thing, that with a sacred oath he would confirm, so he promises to confirm, and that he would give them a safe journey through. So he promises that to confirm with a sacred oath, and that he would give them a safe journey through the borders.